Cryptocurrency apart, a lot of people now and then ask me how to become wealthy, how to make a lot of money. And it's a topic that's tackled by books and philosophers all over the world. Any medium of communication is one that is used to tackle this question. So, how do you make money? How do you make money in this day and age? Well, I mean, I can tell you, like, cryptocurrency obviously is a good way to make some money. But if we really talk about concretely, I have a lot of ideas. I think once you start making money and you get that formula just right, ideas kind of flow into your mind. And I seem to always have ideas for new businesses that are not as complicated, that you can do on your own. And sometimes I share these ideas. Sometimes I've shared my strategies when I had my marketing firm and other things. And so I said, let me try to tackle it this time. Let me just try to tell you a little bit about how I think of business, come up with ideas, and what I feel are some good habits to help you accumulate wealth in the long term. Right? Okay, so first thing I would say is that if you think wealth and happiness go hand in hand, unfortunately, you're sadly mistaken. Most often it doesn't. Also because to become rich and wealthy, usually you have to have a mindset that is pretty much riddled with dissatisfaction. You have to have something that pushes you to overachieve. Because I feel like if you think about it, we're all wealthy because we live in a first world country. We're doing well, a lot better than most of the people on this earth. So if you want to be a millionaire, you're definitely shooting for overachieving. You're wanting to overachieve. And to have that mindset that you want to overachieve, you have to have serial dissatisfaction. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. In my experience, it's hard for me to be happy. I always want more. And this has served me well in business. I like new challenges. I'm very competitive. And, this comes with good and bad. It means I'm never really, really happy for extended periods of time because I always want more. But it also drives me to work harder than everyone else and try to achieve more. And I think that's one of the key things that will help you become successful in the future. Second thing I would say is healthy habits. Don't spend more than you can afford. Try to invest. Live below your means. And one day you can live lavishly, but in your head, start living below your means. If you make $100,000 a year, live like you're making $30,000 a year. This will help you accumulate wealth. I know it's a simplistic term, and in the future I'll really break that down, but overall, just think of it that way. Look at everybody around you and look how they live and spend and what they earn and just tone it down. Way big time down. Once you start doing that, you're going to accumulate wealth faster and you can start living the life that you want. Now, if you're thinking about, driving a $100,000 car, living in $1 million house, it may take you longer, but you'll have a better chance of getting there if in the moment you live beneath your means. And now that alone is a whole huge topic because it's so important. And I could go into detail about how to do that. But for now, I'm just going to say that. I think most of you guys get what I'm saying. Is be frugal and live beneath your means. Another thing is just to identify opportunities in business. Number one thing you can do to become wealthy, be your own boss. You need to be an entrepreneur. You need to be a small business owner. Apart from some celebrities and some exceptions, being your own business is the best way to achieving wealth. And it's also really good. It's rewarding. You're not working for someone else. When I worked for someone else, I could never work hard. I was never able to give 100%. The moment that I was working for myself, I could work, 100-hour weeks. It's a whole different dynamic. So just because maybe, I don't know. That's what I mean. As far as identifying opportunities, I think I saw Gary Vaynerchuk, whatever his name is, and he always goes on and on and on about this idea of like you could go to used stores, buy stuff, and sell it on eBay. That is his one and only big idea as far as people getting off to a good start. And it's like, okay, I like Gary V, I do, but you got to understand that his family had $1 million business, and he brought that $1 million business to the 21st century by doing online wine sales. That's great. But it's easier to bring a business from $1 million to 10 than start a business from scratch and bring it to $1 million. And that's a big point. So when all these gurus and people that speak, it's like, give me some concrete stuff that I can work with. Okay, well, what gives you the opportunity to identify? Well, first, be an expert. Inform yourself as much as you can about the technology that you're passionate about, like cryptocurrency, blockchain, programming, whatever. And that will kind of open up your mind to identifying these opportunities. A big thing that I think creates wealth is giving value, obviously. When you're able to do something that's in demand, somebody needs your skill set. Another thing is brokering deals. I always identify these ways of brokering deals. In other words, you identify a problem and you figure out how you can solve it. The other day, this is a new one. It's a very good idea, I think. And I would implement it, but I just don't even have the time to do it anymore, this sort of thing. So I'm just going to give it to you guys. If somebody wants to do it, you can. So I was doing this lottery idea, right, for the lottery, so I could do the sweepstakes or whatnot weekly and do it on the blockchain, Ethereum-based ERC20 token, yada, yada. So I was looking for developers on Upwork, on Freelancer, right? And there's this huge disparity with the price it costs to hire someone in the US or Canada or Europe versus one in India. Like India, $10, $20 an hour. In the United States, $60 to $80 an hour for US and Canada. Huge disparity. And there's very few good programmers in the US and Canada. Most of these people are all in India. They're very well educated. Some of them has postdoctorate education, a lot of experience, but the communication is an issue. I tried to hire a couple of Indians, and as soon as I heard the voice on the phone, it was just like, oh, Madonna. You know, the communication is just tough. I could definitely work with these people, but it would take so much more time to achieve the communication. And the thing is, the price range is just so different. So I was like, okay, let me find someone in the US. So I look at somebody, he's charging $80 an hour. And it was like Craig Brown. I'm like, okay, whatever. American enough name. Contact him. He calls me from California. It was a VoIP number. This guy was in India. Barely spoke English. He had all this stuff that he had made was not true. Like it was a picture of someone else. All the LinkedIn stuff was fake. It wasn't him. He was in India. He was just using a VoIP number because he could charge so much more. And I was like, that's smart. He's being creative with doing this, right? And I'm like, that's a huge business opportunity, though. Huge. Okay, so say that you could just broker these deals. So you could go on Freelancer, go on Upwork, say that you're, and take blockchain developing like Solidity, this because it's a growing market. You put your ad out there and you just broker the deal. They think that they're just working with you, but in reality, you have a team. So you interview the guy who wants to hire you for the job. You can charge more because you're in the US, but then you're just, like white label pushing out the work to India. How does this help? Because the people want to call you, they want to explain their idea, they want to work with you, they want that communication, they want that feedback, talking to you, and that's worth, people would pay a lot of money for that alone. You, on the other hand, can go through a lot of different developers overseas until you find a few that you really know you can count on and do a really good work. This may take some time. Then now you know how to work with these specific people. And then you're the one that can be interviewing the client or whatever that wants someone in the US. So you can charge a premium while the work is still being done in India. And you're just this broker kind of person in the middle. That could be incredibly profitable. Like, think about it. These people, $60 to $80 an hour is what you're charging. You can push it back $20 an hour to the individual. The key here is you have to have a team behind you that works well. But there's a lot of competent developers. You have to go through a few, then you'll find a good team. They are motivated to do good work for you because they know it's a stream of new work that'll keep on coming. And this is huge because you have the actual resident. You're an actual resident of the US or Canada or Europe or whatever. You can speak good English. You have a phone number that can be verified. So everything is legit. You have legit LinkedIn and social media accounts. You can talk to the person. That's invaluable. And then you communicate with your team and get the work done with them. Boom. That is you can, and people can iron out the details, but that is a good, solid business idea. You could easily start churning out $1,000 a day just doing it yourself. You could grow it up. You could start a firm, a consulting firm. Literally start your own consulting developer firm and then have all the work outsourced. These are the type of ideas you get, and I think I see a pattern as far as brokering deals, because back in the day, when my first company had kind of gone under the ground. I was in between things. To make some money, I did the first thing that came up in my head, which was, you know what? I took a newspaper and saw all the rentals in the newspaper, and I'd call up the rentals, say, hey, I'm working, I'm a broker or whatever. If I can find you some tenants, would you like me to hook you up? And what you do, usually in those kind of situations, they pay the first month rent or deposit goes to the broker or realtor that finds a person for that. I would turn around and get those ads, sometimes take better pictures, and I would post them on other websites and on Craigslist. And then I would, boom, find them a tenant. And you just bank in money so easily. Depending on where you live, that's a very good option. The second idea, and I flow with these ideas, brokering deals. You could do something. Listen, there's so many. Look at like the YouTubers, right? The influencers. You could approach companies and see if they're interested in advertising with certain influencers, and you could broker the deals for a straight commission. Boom, that's another one. You have to think outside the box and really just find a problem and solve it. These are easy things that I'm talking about. To make these business ideas, all you need is a quick mouth, some sales skills, maybe some web developing, something, make a nice website, and develop that and make it bigger. Back in the day, maybe I shouldn't tell you this is a little shady. Back in the day when I started a background check service. Now there's tons of background check services out there, but I knew that I was going to make mine successful. I knew I was going to do it. So how do I make my background check service successful? Well, leads. You need people, you need traffic. And I wasn't going to do it just through regular ads. What I did, and I went and I posted jobs all across the country in major cities on Craigslist, advertising that is saying that the certain person needed a babysitter. And under the thing, I would say, before applying, go ahead and take a background check at this website on yourself and then apply for the job. Do you realize how many I was churning and burning? Was that really, ethically speaking, a good thing? Okay, it's a gray area. They were getting a real background check service. It's a real service, but how I was generating the lead was a little misleading because there was no babysitter job. They would just go to get the background check service and send, and there's no actual job. I understand that. However, thousands of dollars a day. Built it up, made money for like 6 months. Then I turned around and sold the background check service. It's just like I was telling you about when I had that client at a restaurant that was going out of business, and he asked me how for my help. What I do, I went out and I made dozens and dozens of fake profiles of women on dating profiles and set up a bunch of dates for that Friday night at that place. A lot of them saying, hey, go ahead and order me a drink. I'll be right there. Next thing you know, that place was so packed that people walking by was like, man, that place must be good. Look at how many people are there. And it was a snowball effect. This is all thinking outside the box. You don't need money to make something happen. You need some brains. You need some creativity. There is so many opportunities out there. Even the one Gary Vee was talking about, buying things and selling them on eBay or on Amazon. Yeah, that's not revolutionary. That's not going to make you a millionaire overnight, but it's a sound idea. Then he's telling now everybody's doing that. It's a little saturated. All this Amazon vendor stuff, I think it's a little saturated. You can probably still sell products on Amazon and stuff and make money, affiliates, whatever, but it's a little saturated. What you need to do, you don't need to do something that someone else is doing. You need to come up with a creative idea of a problem and how you're going to solve it, or how you're going to facilitate some sort of acquisition of a product or a service. There's tons of ideas, and once you open up your mind to it, they'll just start flowing through. Also, once you bring a project to fruition, once you make a business happen, you hire, you go through everything. Years later, business goes under. That's fine. You've learned important lessons, and now you have confidence in yourself in a way that you'll never be the same. That's what happened with me. My first company, I had it for a year, went under because I was stupid, made some bad deals. But I knew from that moment on that I could do it. And nothing was ever the same. From when I was 27 and started my first company, I never worked for anyone else again, except in consulting styles, contracting positions. Nothing was ever the same. I had made $1 million and lost it a couple of different times, made bad decisions through my life. I've been young and stupid, yes. but I've always knew I could do it. And I always used my creativity to start new ventures and make things happen. And I hope now, I hit the gold mine, with cryptocurrency. I learned how to trade cryptocurrency, made millions. Okay, that's great. What can I do? Well, I would like to show people how I did it. Believe in yourself. And I don't want to do it like other gurus or people always talking about, oh, do this. I'm like, okay, I got the motivation part now. But now, how do I do it? How do I really do it? Like, what's some ideas? And don't give me some cookie cutter business idea that everybody else is doing already and is saturated. Teach me how to find them. And give me examples. Give me examples. That's why I churned out a decent amount of ideas just right there. And I'll keep on. Subscribe to my damn channel. And we'll do Friday picks. We do a lot of stuff here with crypto. And hopefully you can find some value out of this. From now on, I'm already have my businesses running, okay? And do my crypto trading. If you complain to me and you say you don't have enough money to invest a lot in crypto to make money, here's the thing, start yourself a business. And if you follow me, we're going to talk anytime I have an idea. I don't have the time to do these businesses anymore. So every time I get an idea, I'm just going to bring it to you and we'll talk about it in a video. Give you guys the opportunity to bring it to fruition. Pick it up and run with it. I don't know. You can call me what you call me. Maybe you think these ideas are crazy, but I'm telling you, there's something to it. If I had the time, each one of those ideas that I talked about today, I could make it into $1 million business within 3 years for sure, especially the one with the developing. You just got to choose a type of developing a service that's hot right now. Solidity, blockchain, ICO developing, that sort of thing. You can't just go there with web design because everybody can do web design. You need to do developing. And you need to know enough about blockchain technology and developing that you can talk to the person on the phone. This person on the phone is not a developer or he'd be doing it himself. He's trying to hire you to do something. But you need to know enough about the subject to convincingly communicate with him and feel like you're doing a back and forth, like he's getting good feedback. I'm telling you, that makes all of the difference. There's tons of talented people overseas. They can never even get a chance at these jobs because they can't talk to people in good English because they feel sketched out working for people overseas. So you broker this thing. They think they're working with you, but you pass in the work. But you're doing the communicating. You're facilitating the whole thing. Oh my God, then you get a bunch of jobs under your belt. You start a whole company, your own website, boom, developing and stuff. You get yourself an office. I don't know, guys. I was excited today. I wanted to give you something different. We can talk about, still going to do the Friday pick. We're still going to move on with other stuff. And we're going to talk about other opportunities. I just wanted to give you something right there. Boom. I'm really, like I said, I'm trying to bring you as much value as possible from the experience that I have. Not just cryptocurrency trading and everything, which my next video, we're going to hit some new coins and talk and get deep into that. But I just wanted to try to do something a little different today. Thank you again for tuning in. Buy red, sell green, guys. And remember, hey, what are you going to do? I don't know. Life is very strange. I always say that. But, it is what it is.